Hey everyone, how's it going? So in this video, we're going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to show you guys how to draw something, but instead of just showing you how to draw and then fast forward and coloring, I'm actually going to show you guys how to draw and shade something. So I'm going to start off in pencil, and we're going to be using pencil the whole time. Now, I'm going to try to draw a little bit darker just so that you guys can see it, because sometimes the camera doesn't pick up pencil lines that great. So I want to start right here, and I want to show you guys how to draw a shark, and we're going to show you guys how to shade this as well. So starting right here, I want to draw a line that's just going to go from here to here. Now I'm big into sketching, so I'm going to sketch this out first, and then I'm going to draw this nice and dark. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm just going to sketch a line that's just going to kind of curve up and then go down like this. And I'm just going to kind of go a little bit darker over it. Then I'm going to kind of curve this line down just a little bit more. And then I want to make the fin. So to make the fin, I'm just going to kind of curve this line up a little bit. And I just want it to have a little bit of a curve like that. Then I'm going to bring this back down here, kind of like a triangular, like moon shape. Then I just kind of want to follow this same curve, and I'm going to bring this down to right about here. So I'm just going to kind of sketch this curved line down here. Now I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to work on the face of the shark. So right about here is where the nose is going to be. So I want to make a line that's just going to kind of curve down like this, just like a nice little gentle curve. And then I'm going to draw a line that's just going to kind of curve up and then down like this for the mouth. It's just going to kind of have a nice little slow curve. Then, starting here, I'm just going to draw a little line that's just going to go right to about here. I don't want it to go past this line. I want it to just stay right about here. And then I'm just going to kind of curve it in a little bit here. And I'm going to kind of bring this up a little bit and then just kind of curve out to about there. Now, up here I want to put the fin. So I'm going to draw a line that's just going to kind of curve down. And then I'm just going to kind of curve this back up here. And then I'm going to bring it in just a little bit, just to kind of show where the fin of the shark is. And actually I might make it a little bit bigger, just a little bit longer. Then I'm going to start here, and I'm going to draw a line that's just going to kind of curve up to here. And I want it to get really close to this line, because this is where we're getting towards the back of the tail. So I'm just going to kind of curve this back here. Then, for the tail, I'm just going to make like a line that's just going to kind of curve up to here. And then I'm going to make another one that's just going to curve down. And then I'm just going to draw a line that's just going to kind of curve in, and then just do the same thing down here. Now right here I want to add another little fin, so I'm just going to draw a line that's just going to go down and then up, kind of like a little V shape. And then right back here I'm going to just add a line that just kind of goes down and then back in. And then I'm just going to take my eraser and erase that little line right in the middle there. And then I'm just going to add another one right here on the other side. Now, I want to keep the eye of the shark right about here. So I'm just going to draw a little circle shape for the eye. And then I'm just going to kind of color this in, and I'm just going to leave a little bit of this white just so we can kind of see the reflection in the eye. Now, starting right here, I'm just going to add some little teeth into the mouth of the shark on the top and the bottom. Not a ton, just a few. And then I'm just going to add a little line that's going to curve down. And then I just want to kind of color this in nice and dark, just make some really, really dark lines in here. Just to make it nice and dark inside the mouth of the shark there. Then right up here, I'm going to add a little curved line for the nose. And then over here, I'm just going to make some little lines that are just going to kind of curve right along here. And these are just going to be the gills of the shark. So just going to make some nice little lines. They're just going to kind of curve right along here. Now, one of the last things I want to do is I want to draw a nice little line that's just going to kind of separate the dark part of the shark from the light part. So I'm just going to start here, and I'm just going to make a little line that's just going to be kind of wavy. And I'm going to go right to about this flipper. And then I'm just going to kind of jump over it, and then I'm going to end right here by the tail. And then I'll come through and just draw this a little bit darker because that's showing up pretty light on the screen. Okay, so now last thing I want to do is I'm just going to make a little bit more of a line right here just to kind of show a little bit more detail where the fin is. So we have our basic shark drawn out. Now what we need to do is we want to start adding some shading on here. Now, most of the time you're going to want to use a little bit more of a drawing pencil, but I'm going to show you guys it's pretty easy to shade just with a normal pencil like this. So, I'm going to be kind of turning my paper just a little bit just to kind of help you guys see a little bit better. So, I'm going to start here. So, I want the bottom of the shark to be the darkest part because it's going to be darker at the bottom because no light is shining on there. So I'm just going to kind of take my pencil and draw a little bit darker all the way along the bottom of the shark there. Now, when I shade this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out coloring really nice and dark on this fin right here. So I'm just going to stay really, really dark, because especially right here, because this is where it's closest to the body. Now, as I get down, I'm just going to slowly get lighter and lighter as I get farther down here. So I'm just going to slowly get lighter and lighter. And all I'm doing is just kind of picking up on my pencil as I'm shading this. And as I get down, I'm just going to get lighter and lighter just to show a little bit of shading. Now, I'm going to draw a little bit of a darker line right here onto this shark, or this fin of the shark right here, just to make it a little bit darker. And then I'm going to draw a little line right here on it. And then I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of color nice and dark with my pencil right there on top. And then as I get farther up, I'm actually going to do the opposite that I did here. And as I get farther up, I'm just going to kind of slowly get lighter. So I'm kind of going in a fast, like back and forth motion. Some people like to shade in little circles, but I'm just going to kind of do this little motion, just kind of pick up the pace on our drawing. So I'm just going to kind of shade this nice and light. And then over here, I want it to blend a little bit more. So I'm going to push down a little bit harder on my pencil and just kind of blend in some of these colors over here, just so they kind of work together a little bit. And then I'm just going to do a really light shading on here. I'm just going to kind of push down lightly on my pencil and just kind of shade nice and light on that fin. Then I'm going to repeat these steps right over here on these little fins. Just kind of nice and dark at the top, and then I'm just going to slowly get lighter. And then over here, kind of do the same thing. Just make it nice and dark, and then I'm just going to slowly get lighter as I get up towards the top. So now on the belly of the shark, it's actually going to be really nice and white, and it's going to be a lot darker up here. So what I'm going to be doing is when I shade here, I'm going to get it dark, but it's not going to be super dark. So I'm just going to kind of shade a little bit, kind of back and forth. And as I'm going a little bit higher up, I'm just going to start picking up on my pencil more and more. And I'm just not going to push down as hard as I shade this shark. So I'm just going to get lighter and lighter, and eventually I'm just going to kind of stop with the shading altogether because it's going to be such a light color up there. So I'm going to kind of do that same thing here, keep it a little bit darker towards the bottom, and then just as I move up the shark, I'm just going to get lighter and lighter. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here, just kind of nice and dark, and then just kind of slowly get lighter the higher you get up. Now I'm going to make it a little bit darker right back here behind the fin. So I'm just going to color a little bit darker back here, just so we can see a little bit of detail. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here, just kind of go a little bit darker. Okay, now I want to work on the tail. So I'm going to do kind of the same thing I've been doing, just nice and dark at the bottom of the tail. Just get it nice and dark, and then I'm just going to slowly start getting lighter and lighter as I pick up on my pencil and as I get farther up on the tail of the shark. So I'm just going to kind of shade it nice and light there. And I'm just going to kind of get lighter and lighter as I move up. Now I'm also going to make it kind of dark over here. So I'm just going to kind of get a nice dark line going on this part of the shark's tail. And then I'm just going to get lighter and lighter as I move up. I'm also going to make it a little bit darker on this side of the shark's tail. Okay, so then I just want to kind of blend in this just a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of fill in this whole area of the shark's tail. And I'm just going to leave it a little bit light at the top. Just like that. So, now one of the things I want to do is I want to get like a nice layer of pencil on top of here, just to kind of show where it's a lot darker up there. Then what I'm going to do is I'll come in and I will kind of lighten up some areas. So I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of shading right around the top of the shark. So I'm going to start with the fin up here. We're just going to give him that nice dark line on the back side of the fin, and then also on this part, just because it's kind of meeting right there, so it's going to be a little bit darker. Then when I shade, I'm just going to kind of slowly get darker in the corner here. And then as I move away, I'm going to just start getting lighter and lighter. So I'm just kind of coloring in some little circle motions just to kind of help kind of keep all my shading together. And I'm just going to kind of shade this nice and lightly. Okay, so now that I've got that done, then I want to start with a nice little kind of dark line right along the edge here of this wavy line we made, and then I'm just going to kind of slowly get lighter as I go up. So I'm just going to kind of start off by just kind of adding a nice little dark line, nothing too dark because we want this just to be a little bit of like a color change. So I'm just going to kind of make a nice little dark line going right along here. And then I'm just going to start back here, and as I shade, I'm just going to slowly get lighter and lighter as I move up. So I'm just going to kind of work in layers here. Now, I'm also going to do a little bit, and I'm going to kind of darken up the very top of the shark too, just so I can get kind of like a really nice outline going on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that really dark, and then I'm going to do a little bit of contrast. So like you can see over here by the nose, as I get up closer to it, I'm going to get really light as I get to it. So I'm going to start out dark, kind of lighten it up just a little bit around the edge here. And then I'm just going to kind of leave it almost like a white color right there, just so that way we have like a little bit of contrast around it. So you just want to kind of keep shading around here. Shading does take a little bit of time. I'm just kind of getting that little base layer of color down. So I'm just going to kind of get this going all the way up here and just kind of make it slowly get lighter, just kind of picking up more and more on your pencil the higher you get up, just because this is where the light's going to be on the shark. Okay, so I got that nice little base layer of color in there on the shark, but now I want to make some things just kind of pop out a little bit more. So I'm just going to kind of darken it up a little bit right around the edge here on the face, and then when I darken it, I'm just going to kind of slowly start getting a little bit lighter just for a nice little blend in there. Because you don't want it to be like super dark and super light, or else it's just not going to look right. It's going to have too much of a contrast. I'm going to make it a little bit darker right there by the nose, and then I'm also going to just kind of shade a little area right around it just to kind of show where the nose is sitting. Then I'm just going to kind of add a little bit more blending in here, just kind of like a little bit of like a medium kind of gray color. Going to get a little bit darker right around this fin right there, or the flipper. Just going to add some shading there. And sorry, there's a cat invading our drawing right now. So I'm just going to kind of do this right around here. I'm going to get a little bit darker right around the top here, just to kind of help show a little bit of shading on there. I'm going to add it, make it a little bit lighter right here underneath this fin, and a little bit darker in some spots. Just kind of blending it in there. I'm going to make a little bit of a kind of light shadow right around the top of the mouth here. Add a little bit of a darker line right around here. And then I'm just going to kind of make it a little bit darker right around here. Then right here by the gills, I'm just going to kind of darken it up a little bit, just to kind of make it kind of see some shadows and everything on there. And then I'm going to add like a little bit of a line right underneath the eye, and then I'm just going to kind of darken that up right around there. And then I'm just going to make it a little bit darker right around the body here, just so we can see a little bit more variation of color. Okay, and there you go. There's your drawing of a shaded shark. Now there's definitely a few little areas you could always add, like some little bit more blending and kind of highlight some areas a little bit darker. But you know, it's very easy to do all this just with a pencil. It's all about just kind of starting in certain areas, keeping it really dark in certain areas, and then just kind of brighten it up as you get kind of farther up. You want to figure out where your light and dark areas are going to be. My darker areas were definitely kind of lower here, and I want them to get a little bit lighter as I go up. It was a little challenging right down here because we do have that white belly of the shark, so we wanted to keep it dark, but then we also wanted to get kind of light too, so we had to do some light shading and some dark shading on here. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I might try doing a few more of these shading videos. Please let me know what you guys think, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Keep watching, and thanks for subscribing.